You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, when it comes to Freddie Roach, you can say whatever you want to say about him being unfiltered. But the good thing about a person being unfiltered is we get to hear a lot of truth. We get to hear a lot of things that a lot of other trainers or promoters will not admit to. For example, a lot of things you hear Freddie Roach say when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, you don't even hear Bob Arum say too often. Usually the things that Bob Arum says is more filtered. It may not always be consistent filtration, but it is still filtered, right? But Freddie Roach, he does wear many hats. Because on one hand, you have Freddie Roach, the promoter. That Freddie Roach, he'll pretty much just tell you whatever just to sell a fight, right? And then you have the other Freddie Roach who doesn't give a damn how you take it. He's just going to tell you how he really feels about a situation. Just like when Freddie Roach made the admission that it was Manny Pacquiao's fault and Freddie Roach's fault that the first Mayweather-Pacquiao fight fell through back in 2008. Just like Freddie Roach, he said that even though Bob Arum or Pacquiao say they thought they won the fight, I thought Mayweather won the fight. Or when Freddie Roach said that he believes that Bob Arum, he was the one that wanted to make the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight Manny Pacquiao's very last fight. This is what Freddie Roach said like 2-3 years ago. And coincidentally, all these admissions that Freddie Roach made were done right in my presence because I was the one interviewing him. Let me go ahead and quote what Freddie Roach just recently said in an interview regarding his charge, Manny Pacquiao. Quote, "Speed is a great thing to have, but sometimes when you get a little older, you slow down a bit. Manny has to really show me something in this next fight for me to continue with him. Even though he got injured in the fight against Floyd Mayweather, I don't think he fought his best fight. I like to see him fight a better fight than that. That's why I like to see a rematch. Because I like to see one more time if he can do well in the fight. But for us to get a rematch, we'd have to beat someone with a name and be impressive in doing it." Now, before I give you guys my thoughts, let me take you down memory lane. Will there be any excuses after May 2nd for either fighter, for Mayweather or for your fighter?
There shouldn't be. I mean, the best man will win, and we'll go from there.
If Manny Pacquiao wins the fight, where do you rate him as an all-time great? If Mayweather wins the fight, same question.
I think it's a good win for Mayweather if he wins the fight. And Pacquiao is, again, I think, like, you know, if you want to go with the history of boxing and go with all the boxers out there that from ever, like, are you talking about the best of ever or the best of just his era? I think he might be the best fighter for his era. Yes.
So like top 20, top 15,
no,
top 5?
Best fighter of his era right now.
If pictures say 1,000 words, then a microphone and a camera must say 1,000,000 words, right? But anyway, with all that truth being said by Freddie Roach, let me go back to what he recently said in this recent interview. The first thing I want to talk about is what he said at the beginning of this interview when he basically said that, you know, sometimes when you get a little older, you slow down a bit. Now, when you watch Manny Pacquiao versus Chris Algieri, when you watch him versus Floyd Mayweather, there is no slowdown when it comes to Manny Pacquiao's speed. Manny Pacquiao was just as quick in the Mayweather fight as he was in the Bradley fight, as he was in the Cotto fight, the Margarito fights. He's always been quick. But speed is not the problem. You could have all the speed in the world, But you know what offsets speed? Timing. This is something I was just telling my son yesterday after his sparring session. The one thing, a person can be the quickest guy in the gym, but the one thing that will disrupt a person's speed is timing. You don't have to be as quick as a person if you are timing them, right? You don't even have to throw as many punches as a volume puncher, but you can limit that person from throwing punches if you were forcing that person to think about everything they do. And this was the problem that Manny Pacquiao had when he faced Floyd Mayweather, but not even against Floyd Mayweather. Even when Manny Pacquiao faced Tim Bradley in the first fight, when he faced Marquez in all 4 fights, Manny Pacquiao's punch output and his speed was not as effective as it usually is against lesser opponents. Let's move on. Then Freddie Roach said something that was really interesting. He said, Manny has to really show me something in this next fight for me to continue with him. That is a big thing to say right there. That's pretty big, because now he's basically telling the world that if Manny Pacquiao does not deliver, if Manny Pacquiao doesn't look like a beast in the ring, then Freddie Roach is going to dump his cash cow, his golden egg or golden goose, Manny Pacquiao. That's kind of hard to believe. That's really hard to believe that Freddie Roach would do something like that. Is he sincere when he says it? Maybe he is. But in regards to him saying Manny Pacquiao has to look a certain way in the ring for him to keep training Manny Pacquiao, to me, Freddie Roach should know better than that. Because if you know a lot about boxing, then you know styles make fights, right? If you want Manny Pacquiao to look good and really show you something, then it's going to have to be against lesser competition. Or it's going to have to just be against a fighter that isn't on that level and is tailor-made style-wise for Manny Pacquiao. A guy who doesn't have the best defense, a guy who comes straight forward, a guy who is slow on his feet. That is the only way Manny Pacquiao is going to look good, guaranteed, right? You got a guy moving slow on his feet, then Manny Pacquiao gets to display those beautiful angles, right? You got a guy who has no type of defense, then Manny Pacquiao, he gets to display his speed and his volume punching skills, right? But you put him in the ring against a Terrence Crawford, even a Lucas Matisse. You put him in the ring against a Floyd Mayweather rematch, even a Tim Bradley trilogy. I'm just saying, these are fights that Manny Pacquiao, he has a chance of winning. But it ain't gonna be no Pacquiao versus Cotto, Pacquiao versus Ricky Hatton type of performance. And that's what Freddie Roach, is looking for. If you want to guarantee a great outing, then you're going to have to put Manny Pacquiao in there with lesser competition. I think we all know, because of the mistakes that Pacquiao makes, because he never really looks great against thinkers, boxer punchers, that tells you that Manny Pacquiao is going to have problems with young, talented lions like Kell Brook, Lucas Matisse, Terrence Crawford, and we already know Keith Thurman, which, Team Pacquiao wouldn't even think about fighting someone like that. We know he would have problems with these type of fighters, right? Now, something else Freddie Roach said in this interview, he basically said, in order for us to really earn a rematch, he said we would have to beat someone with the name, and the win would have to be very impressive. And I totally agree with Freddie Roach when he says that. If Manny Pacquiao were to get in the ring, especially if he were to beat someone like a Terrence Crawford, a Lucas Matisse, a Kell Brook. I don't know if I could really add Amir Khan's name onto that list, because after Amir Khan's performance against Chris Algieri, Manny Pacquiao beating or knocking out Amir Khan, it would still be impressive, but you just wouldn't get the type of credit you would get beating the other names that I mentioned. Okay, so once again, I'm still looking forward to seeing who Manny Pacquiao fights. I enjoy actually watching Manny Pacquiao fight against new faces, new names, as opposed to fighting the same guys over and over like Juan Manuel Marquez, right? I want to see how he's going to deal with young, up-and-coming lions. I tell you guys all the time, or I've told you guys in previous videos, that one of the most difficult things for a fighter to do is, you come up as a young lion, right? First you fight the tomato cans, then you step up in competition, you start fighting the guy with experience who lost to all the big names. Then you move up and you fight the guy who's undefeated and young like you, right? Then you beat him, then you step up and you start fighting the guys who just fought for a title. Then you fight the champion. Then you start defending your title for years and years and years. Probably the most difficult thing to do after you've done all of that is now that you're older and you're more seasoned to defend against the very young lions. There was, at the same level that you were at 10, 15 years ago. That's one of the most difficult things to do in the sport of boxing. We've seen Floyd Mayweather fight against an opponent that was 14, 15 years younger than him, 15 to 20 pounds bigger than him, was undefeated, and was already a two-time champion at the junior middleweight division. And of course, that was Canelo Alvarez. I want to see if Manny Pacquiao can do the same thing. Can Manny Pacquiao fight a guy 10 years younger than him, much bigger than him, much stronger than him? Can Manny Pacquiao beat someone like that? That would be pretty damn impressive. And not necessarily saying he has to do that, but what I am saying is, like I said in another video, Manny Pacquiao has to make up his mind. Manny Pacquiao can just say, you know what? I had a great career. I've accomplished a lot of things, and I ain't taking no more chances of losing to one of these much younger, possibly stronger, or just as strong as me type of opponents. Now, Manny Pacquiao can do that. Manny Pacquiao can completely do that. But just remember this. When it comes to a lot of great fighters, like Tommy Hearns, a lot of people, they really only know Tommy Hearns as the guy that fought a great fight and got knocked out by Marvin Hagler. He got knocked out by Sugar Ray Leonard, right? A lot of people, they overlook the fact that he knocked out Roberto Duran. He knocked out Pepino Cuevas, who was a good champion, right? He beat these fighters before he lost to the big names. But a lot of people, a lot of fans, especially younger fans, they're really going to just remember the highlights, okay? And I'm telling you right now, I don't think Manny Pacquiao wants to be remembered when it comes to the new generation of fans. I don't think he just wants to be remembered as the guy who was a great fighter, but he lost to Floyd Mayweather. And a lot of fans wanted him to beat Floyd Mayweather. So for you fans saying, Manny doesn't have to do anything, you're right. He doesn't have to do anything. But at the end of the day, what is going to make Manny Pacquiao feel more comfortable before he retires? I guess we'll find out. That's all I got. I'm on to the next one.